Pro boxing fans.
I'm going to give these the exclusive, yeah?
Pro boxing fans here with the champ, Leigh Wood. Leigh, we're here. We just seen you work out. What made you work out ahead of your fight with Lara, first of all? How you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. I'm in a very good place physically, mentally. It's just now looking forward to that date, keep chipping away and go out and do what I do.
I asked Ben just then, I go, what made you take Leon? He goes, he was ballsy. He was a ballsy guy, and I've got a soft spot for him. How much has he elevated your career, Ben Davison?
I won't be here without him. I won't be world champion without him. I'm a 50-50 may or may not have won that British title without him, but I know for sure I wouldn't have won the world title and I wouldn't have defended it without him. And I wouldn't have won this fight coming up without him.
Talking about this fight and talking about being ballsy, voluntary defence against a very tough opponent in Mauricio Lara. We saw what he did against Warrington. But I've seen you talk about Lara and you're not happy with him. You know, you said he's shown you a bit of disrespect in the past. What's irked you? What's not made you happy about him?
You know, he's said a few things. He said that I faked my injury, which don't make sense because I picked him to fight. I picked him to fight myself. I didn't have to pick him. I could have fought anyone in the division. But I picked a big challenge for myself. And then obviously once I was injured, he said I faked it. And he said all the English fighters are running away from him, scared chickens or something. So, when you say them kind of things, you got to come in and fight. And now he said them things. And it's really motivated me. It's really put a bit of something needle into this fight now. You know, the extra few reps, the extra little bit of push. When I'm away from home for 3 weeks, it makes it a little bit easier.
You've talked about stopping him. You want to stop him. I talked to Barry Smith and he was like, listen, Leigh's confidence on splattering. But yeah, you're confident that you're going to stop this guy, right?
Yeah, not because of the things he said. Nothing to do with that. It's a style matchup, I know what I do well. I know what he does well. And I know what he does poorly. And I'm going to exploit that. And I'll be very surprised if it goes past the halfway mark. I really will. But obviously I'm prepared for 12 rounds. I always am. I'm extremely fit. I'm extremely strong-willed. But honestly, the way he approaches fights, the things he does, the things I do, I can't see going past halfway.
Do you want to talk about your last fight against Conlan? And it's been much talked about recently towards the end of the year because people started doing reviews of the year. A lot of people picked that as that fight of the year. When you've had time to sit back, in your own time and just watch the fight back, have you realised how big a fight it was, what a spectacle it was on the night? Yeah,
when I post the highlights from that fight, it gets like 3 million views. It's crazy, and it takes two. So, credit to Michael Conlan as well because it takes two to be in a fight like that. And it was a great jealous styles. It was everything that it was built to be. On the build-up, there was that better needle. We both said things, and on fight night, we both laid it all on the line. The Ring Magazine voted it Fight and Knockout of the Year, which is great. And it's nice to be voted Fight of the Year and one that you're victorious in as well. At the same time, though, that knockout, I get shared all the time. I get tagged in it all the time. People think I've only had one fight, So I'm looking forward to adding a new one to the highlight reel.
I think Dominic Ingle described it as a Rocky movie. I think that's actually a good way of putting it. But let's talk about Conlan. Looks like he might be fighting for the IBF against Lopez. I know Top Rank is sort of trying to put that on for possibly St. Patrick's Day. That rematch, I know a lot of people want to see it, but if he holds the belt, brings something to the table, you want that fight?
For sure. And after this fight, but I'm not looking past Lara because Lara's a hard fight. But I'm confident in getting this win and getting the win looking good as well. I really, really want to be the first person to headline at the City Ground next after this fight. No excuses. I'm going to dig my heels in. And whoever's in the opposite corner is irrelevant. Whether that's Warrington, which could fill the City Ground. I believe the two sporting rivalries, Leeds and Nottingham Forest. Wood and Warrington, I think it'll be a massive fight regardless. With him not having a world title and me defending mine, it'll still be a big fight. So whether that's Warrington or if Conlan can go win a world title, which I believe he could, if he needs to do it pretty quick. Nothing's been announced yet. I'm not seeing anything, but if he does, he could be in the opposite corner or even Lopez. So it's irrelevant to me who's in the corner. That's just the box that I want to tick. So pretty much down to them and what they do next, really.
I just quickly going to move away from you. If I ask you 2-3 questions, I won't let you go. This weekend we saw Anthony Yarde versus Artur Beterbiev. I'm not sure if you've had much chance to see it because I know you're training for camp, but if you have seen the fight, what did you make of that fight?
No, it was a great fight. Back and forth. Yarde really put up, and he wasn't going anywhere for a long time. Great fight, and that's what fans want to see. They want to see fights where you come out and you give 100%. And if you did like he did, give 100%, he should be rewarded for it. And hopefully gets another shot at world title, because he's had a bit of bad luck there, because he's fighting a kid there that's a very good fighter, one that don't come around all the time. So yeah, I'd like to see him get another shot at world title eventually, and credit to him, because they're the kind of fights that hold our sport in good regard and get people talking about boxing for the right reasons.
Talking about holding our sport in good regards, we want to see the best. We've not had it recently. It's not been with big fights. We're talking about Joshua, Tyson Fury, Errol Spence, Crawford. Boxing in 2022 took a bit of a dip because a lot of fans weren't getting what they wanted. How important is it this year that yourselves, I know you're quite ballsy, so you want all these title fights. But how important is it that boxers at the top fight, number 1 and number 2 fight each other?
Yeah, I said it in a few interviews today. It'd be great if the actual fans could decide who fights who and take away the politics, but without getting daft with it. But there's a lot of fights over the years that didn't get made, or when they did get made, it's quite late. So yeah, that would make things a bit more tasty, wouldn't it, if the fans could decide. But it's down to the fighters. They need to dig their heels in a bit more, a bit like myself, and speak up and say, look, I want this fight, and make sure they're getting rewarded for that fight. It's a hard one, because there's a lot of politics in boxing, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes people don't know about, but the fighters do need to call out and the body sport went off there. Go on, Buzz! Yeah, they need to dig the heels in more and push for them fights more.
On Saturday night, we also saw a face-off between Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Are you someone that's going to watch that? Are you sold on that?
I'll probably watch it the next day or the next few days. It's not really something that I'm looking forward to, but it's good for boxing in a way where it's bringing fans from outside of the typical boxing community, the boxing fans that have been brought up watching boxing. It's making that audience bigger to the wider public, and if you bring in more people to the sport, that's only a good thing. And hopefully, bring them new faces and new fans to the sport, and they stay and start following boxing. And that's how I look at it. I look at it in a positive way.
Jake Paul, he's been a good thing for the sport. We didn't think he was going to last for this long, and then he's got a promotion table. He's got Amanda Serrano in the biggest female fight we've ever seen. Did you feel like he was going to stick around this long and have this much of an impact on boxing?
No, I didn't. And a lot of fighters are following suit. They started off YouTube, they started boxing, and think, this is actually like this sport, and it is something that ingrains loads of different things for especially young individuals: discipline, respect, how to work, how to get your body in a great physical condition, diet. There's so much things that boxing teaches you, and if he can promote that to his audience, and then all the individuals, the YouTubers, to their audience, it's massive for boxing. It's a positive light.
Final one for myself, a big fight that's going to be announced April 15th is the day. Javante Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Just give me a prediction on that fight. What happens on that fight?
That's a massive fight. Again, that's a fight boxing needs, and that's a fight that I'm sure if they could pick, the fans would have picked. So respect to both the fighters for fighting each other. I'd love to see Garcia do it. I've followed him for a while. It's a hard fight. It is literally 50-50 down the line. Whoever does the right things on the night. I can't pick a winner, but I'm really excited for it.
Cool. Leigh, it's always a pleasure to talk to yourself. Good to see you with a big smile on your face nowadays as well, with the fight in place. And no doubt, big fights coming in 2023 for yourself. Good luck for your next camp.
Appreciate it. Thank you.